I just can't believe this happened. I've never had any problems like this. And of course it happens to the biggest filter on the biggest tank with the biggest fish. I just hope the fish don't die. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Today's video is not the video I wanted to make. It was not the video I was going to make. I was planning on doing a full fish room tour showing you every tank and every fish, and I'm still gonna, but this morning I woke up and I came down to check on Millie in the 150 gallon that we rescaped in my last video. But as soon as I opened the door, I heard kind of a grinding sound, which is never good from your fish room. I figured it was just like a hang on the back that you know, water got too low or something happened. But that's not what I heard. Instead I came down to this. The sound was this pump there. It had reached the point where no more water was going in, and the pool was pretty much empty. So yeah, I essentially flooded the fish room. They're obviously stressed, they're obviously not doing well, so the first thing that we need to do is get some water in here. So let me start that. I still don't fully understand how what happened. Alright, so we have water going in the pool. It's going to take a really long time to replace like 400 plus gallons of water, but that's okay. The fish are doing fine. They're stressed, but they're doing fine. I showed you how that bucket thing saved us. But well, that's filling up. Let me show you exactly what happened and why I'm able to just refill this pool without worry. Because it wasn't the pool that broke. So did you see it? Did you see anything that was out of place? So walking through the way that this filter works is this is a huge pump. It pumps water up through the PVC. It runs along the bottom side of the tube. It goes up the back there, in, down, and it drains into that filter. Well, the way the filter is set up is the water drains all the way down. It fills up, and then it has these two overflows. One there, and then the other one back there. Well, somehow this one had popped off and landed in the pool. Now, it is just kind of hanging there, but this bulkhead here has always done a really good job of keeping it in place, so I've never had to worry about it. Without that overflow, water was just spraying down here, and you can actually see some of the you know, water splatter or whatever you want to call it, spray on the back there. So water filled up there, comes pouring out down here, fills up over the rug, but then unfortunately my basement slopes away that way, which sucks because I have a sump right down there, and you notice the water didn't exactly reach the sump. So now the issue becomes the filter. I replaced that bulkhead. I'm gonna rework that outlet so that way I don't run into a problem like this. I can't even imagine how much of my stuff down here is ruined. Obviously the biggest thing now becomes the health of the fish. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this pool up. I'm gonna start trying to get some of the water up, and then I'll check back in. Ken definitely ate a bluegill, by the way, because his stomach is huge. So for right now we just gotta wait and let this pool fill back up. The fish are actually out swimming around a little bit more over there, which is good to see. They're definitely happy not being in like 2 inches of water. I'm glad to see they're being active. I mean, it means they're not too stressed out. Ken's colors also already looking better. Oh, and while we're waiting on this pool to get refilled and still kind of cleaning up the water and stuff, on my video I posted yesterday, so my last video where we rescaped Millie, the smallmouth behind me's tank, a lot of you said in the comments that you felt like it was missing something or I needed to add some driftwood or something like that. So let me give you a quick update on what I did into that tank, since I had a lot of time to kill down here while I was waiting on things to fill and dry. So I just happened to have some driftwood tree branch twig looking things. So I added a big piece of driftwood there, kind of buried it down in the rocks to keep it looking natural, like it's submerged or kind of grew out of there. And then over here I added another one kind of going up this way, and then added a few more river rocks and stuff. So took your advice, added a couple pieces of driftwood and stuff, some twigs or sticks, and yeah, I'm really loving the way this looks. So thank you for the suggestions. This is why I always ask for your guys' input and comments, because you were spot on. This tank definitely needed something, and I'm in love with it even more now. We'll let this pool fill all the way back up, and then I'll show you what I did to the filter to hopefully fix it, and then we'll fire it back up and see if everything's okay. I'm really putting off having to move all these cardboard boxes, but all part of fish keeping, right? So it's been actually like an hour of just filling this thing up, and we're getting close, probably about 3-4 more inches. The fish are still looking good, just obviously stressed, but while that's filling, one of the first things we need to clean up is this rug, which, as you can tell, soaked up a lot of the water. So we're gonna roll this thing up and take it outside to dry. Alright, so it has literally been 2 hours since I got the water running into the pool. And as you can see, it is just now about full, about where I'm comfortable, where I don't have to worry about the fish jumping out. So we can go ahead and shut off this water. As you can see, I've been doing some vacuuming, got some towels down. So we're starting to get things kind of cleaned up. I've been moving some boxes and that rug you saw. But the fish seem to be doing well. That's the biggest thing for me. Still need to watch them. I've put all my dechlorinator and stuff like that in. I mean, it was over 400 gallons of water, so I'm sweating, which is just adding more water to the floor. So that's a whole big thing. But all right, let's get this water shut off, and then I'll show you the fish. So everyone seems to be doing really well right now. I'm going to talk about like ways that this could have been prevented and like lessons to learn and stuff like that here in a second. But I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky with this for a number of different reasons. The first one being this pump and the way I had it set up. So with the way this pump is set up, it's sitting in this plastic tote. So this pump does 3,000 gallons per hour. That's a lot of water moving through there. Well, so as the pool lowered, once the water level got to right where that plastic pump is, the pump just drained what was inside that container, leaving the rest of the pool okay. So as you saw, the fish had, well, I'll show you again here, the fish had enough room to be upright, which is very fortunate, because without that plastic tote, that pump would have drained it all the way down till there was probably this much water in that pool, so the fish would have been dead by the time I got down here. So So another reason that I'm fortunate is the whole fish room is on concrete floors, meaning there was no carpet that, well, there was the rug, but no carpet that I needed to tear up, replace, dry out, any of that stuff. So by having a concrete floor, well, yes, everything is wet and I'm laying in it. It will dry. It'll take some time, but it will dry. And then lastly, and this is kind of a handful of reasons that I'm lucky that the fish survived. With the way that that pump was set up, it was kind of built for something like this to happen. So the fish are alive, so that's fortunate. The pond liner, the pool liner didn't rupture, so I'm lucky enough to still be able to fill this pool and have the fish in it. But so there's a lot of reasons that I'm lucky. Right now, I'm just drying things out still, but it definitely could have been a lot worse. Let's go ahead and turn this filter back on. I want to double check it for leaks. Let's hope this thing still works. Let's plug it in. So it's kind of tough to see with just the angle here, but this is the one that was leaking. I replaced that bulkhead, so that is brand new. The tube runs all the way through into the filter or the trash can, so any leaking would happen right there. So, you know, minute in, so far so good. Alright everyone, so it has been about 8 hours since all that footage that you saw before. Since that last clip, the filter has been running great. The fish have been doing awesome. They've all been swimming around, acting like normal, so I'm super happy to see that. And the floors have begun to dry. So all things considered, this was a minor catastrophe. As far as personal belongings go, I'm still kind of sorting through what's wet and what needs to be dried out and all that kind of fun stuff. But all things considered, as far as the pool goes, we are good to go. I've mentioned a couple times ways that you can prevent this, and this is probably the most important thing from this entire video. No matter if you have a pool, an aquarium, DIY filters, whatever it is, the way to prevent accidents like this from happening, check your stuff. Honestly, I was down here filming that update on Millie just a couple hours before I'm sure this tank popped. I mean, it was the middle of the night, it was like 4 a.m. But if I would have checked my filter or just made it a habit to check those bulkheads, make sure they're pushed in, I'm sure I could have caught this and prevented it. So whether you have a heater, a filter, whatever it is, just check your stuff. Don't just trust that it's going to work all the time. That'll help you prevent accidents like this. So, alright everyone, so it has been a very long, tiring, water-filled day. I'm exhausted. I'm thankful that there was minimal damage done to the basement, and we were able to obviously save the fish, like I've said over and over. I know I kind of brought this on myself by having a 500-gallon pool in my basement, but it's still never easy when something like this happens. So I'm glad you guys came along and I was able to share this experience with you. Hopefully you learned to check your equipment so stuff like this doesn't happen to you. Also, I mentioned at the beginning that I was supposed to be doing an all my aquariums update video for today. Still gonna happen. Once I get that fish room all cleaned up, I'm gonna start filming that so I can show you guys everything that I have, because I have some fish that has been a very long time since I've shown you. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. Please give this video a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you thought, and subscribe if you have not already. And until the next video, I will see you soon.
Bye, fish. See you later. See you soon.